Hi, this is a video for the question set for February 10th. This is not the same questions. I'm going to just give you examples of them. So if you're not sure about it, you can watch this video and hopefully it'll clear things up for you. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this so I can write on it a little bit. Okay, so the first question asks us to identify which of these histograms here are the four choices. Now, you see the correct choice there, but let's pretend we don't know that's correct, just because, again, this video is about learning how to do this as opposed to just getting the correct answer. This is just an example problem also. This is not the number one from the assignment. This is just an example. Well, here, one thing I want to notice that make sure you see what's being measured, right? Take a moment to read it. You got the names, you got the ages, and they're looking for a histogram based upon the ages, how many people of each particular age. Another very important thing to look at is, are the bins equal to 1? Meaning, does each bin represent like one number, for example? Does each bin represent only 71, or does it represent a range of numbers? And if you look here at these, it goes up by increments of 5. So that means that each bin represents 5 different ages. Now, there's another very important thing to understand about how this works. I want to show you very carefully. So if you look at this bin here from 35 to 40, you might think, well, hey, that includes people. This includes people who are 35 to 40, but that's not the case. This one right here, let me get a pen here real quick. Okay, ooh, that's too thick. My goodness gracious, make this a lot smaller. Okay, so this group right here, my pen out. Okay, this looks like it might represent 35 to 40, but it doesn't. It represents 35 to just before 40. So this group right here is 35. I don't write very neat with my cursor. I don't have my 35 to, oops, my bad. 35 to 39. Okay. So a 40-year-old would not be in this band right here. It would actually be from here to here. And then this is 40 to 44. Okay. So one thing you might want to do is just write that in what the maximum is. So it's 40 to 44. This is 35 to 39. Okay. So very important thing to understand about that. This right here is 50 to 54, not 55. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and look a little bit more carefully at it. So there's four different choices, right? One thing we could do is we could just start with each band right here and see how many there are. But you know what? That may not actually be the easiest way to do it, because when I look at how many 35 to 39-year-olds there are, there's one here, one here, one here, this is stretched out, and one here. So that may not help me. Obviously, the answer has got to be one in that age group. So I'm going to start looking where there's differences between the four choices. So let's see. I mean, here, this one is 3. Oh, that's 3 also. The problem is this one's spread out and this is squished. So you got to notice that. You got to keep track of the numbers. It's about 50 and 55. Here there's 1. Here there's 2. Okay, 50 to 55, 2. Here's 1. Okay, so it's either going to be 1 or 2. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Again, remember, I don't know why I put 59 right there. It's 50 to 54. We're going to look at this one right here, guys. 50 to 54, okay? So how many are there? Well, let's see. 50 to 54. Nope. Remember, 55 isn't part of it. 50 to 54. Okay, 1. Or I only got 1. Okay. So that means this one that's got 2, this choice is out. This one's got 2 as well, so this choice is out. This one's got 1, and this one here's got 1. Okay, cool. So now it's just going to be between these two. So let's find another bar that has a difference in the number. So let's see, 55 to 60 is 3 here. 55 to 60 is 6. Okay, so this one says 55 to 59. Again, it's not 60, 59. There's 3. 55 to 59, there's 6 in this bar. Okay, so let me count 55 to 60. I'm sorry, guys. 55 to 59. 1, 2, 3. So I got 3. So this one has 6, right, in this group. So D's out, which again gets us to our correct choice, okay? So that's how you can do this kind of problem here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you the next problem in just a moment. Okay, so dot plots are a little bit easier than what we just did because basically every dot represents a very specific value. So the issue is you've got these awards right here, and they're listed here in these choices. Again, we know C is correct here, but how would we go about figuring it out? I'm gonna recommend doing what we did before. Start to look for difference in the charts and then focus on that, counting those up. So here this is 1, right? So there's going to be 3 1s, 2 1s, 1 1, 2 1s. Okay, so maybe we'll just count up the 1s and then do process of elimination. Before I do that, I'm going to find a place to put this so I can write a little bit. There we go. Go back to this. There it is. Okay. So let's see. So again, I'm going to look for differences. For the 1s, which would be right here and here, and here and here, there's a different amount of 1s. So I'm going to count up the 1s. Let's see how many 1s we got. I'm going to scan the list real quick. There's 1 1, 2 1. So there's going to be 2 1s, right? And I might want to scan it again. There's 2 1s. This A has 3 1s. B has 1 1, but so it's either going to be D or C, right? They both have 2 1s, 2 1s. Let's look at the 2s. Oh, D has 1 2. C has no 2. So either it has a 2 or it doesn't. Okay, let's check if there's any 2s. No 2s. Okay, so D says there's 1 2, but there's not. And that's how we get to the answer on that. Okay, so one moment, I'll go to the next one. Okay, guys, so here we go. So this one's going to be a little bit of data entry, but hopefully at this point you know how to find the mean. Again, so that's the average, right? So it's good to use technology. And these are some big numbers. Hopefully you don't get it. Hopefully your assignment doesn't have them that big. But if they do, you know what? I'm going to give you a recommendation. First of all, remember the formula is you add up all these numbers together, all these different instances, right? And then you divide by the number of numbers. So, you know, however many, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this column, 6 plus 6 is 12, 18 plus 5, so there's 23. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 23. Adding all this up doesn't look good, but I noticed something. If I got a multiple choice question, these answers are off by quite a bit. 604, 480, 415, 128. You know, I'm going to tell you right off the bat. I mean, we see the correct answer is A, but if you look at these numbers, they're all right at about 600,000 or 500, 600. There's no way it could be any of these. It has to be that. But here's another thing. Let's just say there was another one like A, that's A is 604, 604,100. Let's say there was another one that say 603,700, something like that, that you know could also be a correct choice. But one thing you can do, well, yes, then you need to enter in the answers. Now here you could use your calculator to do it. You might want to use Desmos to calculate it. That might work. But anyway, it's just a little bit of data entry. So, okay. So anyway, the next kind of question you're going to see is you're going to see the median for each data set. Well, here we got a dot plot. How do we get the median? Remember, it's the middle value. And so however many values there are, it's going to be the one in the middle. So we kind of have to count all these values, however many dots there are, or data points, and we have to find the one there. So there's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 19, 22. Wow, so 23, okay? I might want to count that again. I'd recommend it. So 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 2, 10. Let's see, that was 5, 4 more. So 19, 22, 23. Wow. Well, if there's 23, which one is the median? Well, for one thing, they kind of give you a clue. It's an odd number of numbers. So it's going to be one of the specific numbers. So that tells me right off the bat it's got to be B. But let's just say there was 2 whole numbers. How would we know the mean is 6? Well, remember, there's 23 numbers. There's 11 on the left side and 11 on the right side. In other words, 22. And then, so that would be the 12th one is the median. So there's 3 here, plus 5, 8, 9, 10. So it's going to be in this one right here. The 11th and 12th, 13th are right here. So that's how you can tell it's that's 6. Okay, mean for each data set. Now, when you get a dot plot like that, you don't have specific values, then you kind of basically have to take these values, but it's kind of telling you what the values are. Remember, for mean, you have to add up all the different data points and divide by the number of numbers. Well, here, 36, this is 36, so I go 36 plus 40, plus 41, plus 42, plus 42 again, etc. And I'd get a sum, and then I have to divide by the number of numbers. 1, 2, so I'd have to count up all the dots and divide by the number of dots. If you want to try it, you should get 47, okay? Let's see what else. Draw a histogram. Okay, now we're in repeat mode. Here, this is not interesting because we don't get specific numbers, but we get decimals. So if you look at a histogram, 1 to 2 means from 1 to 1.999 if you're doing decimals. So anything between 1 and 2, but got to be less than 2, would work. So then we could go about and say, okay, well, how many numbers are between 1 and 2? There are 9 according to this. So we'd sit and count all the numbers between 1 and 1.99 and see which one gave us the correct answer. So when you're dealing with decimals, and you're dealing with bands, you got to remember that from 1 to 2 here with decimals is literally from 1 to 1.99. From 2 to 3 is really from 2 to 2.99. Okay, so when you count them up, that's how you can find out which bar it goes in. This looks like a repeat type question. We know how to do that. Here, same with this, a repeat question. Dot plot or repeat question. Basically, drawing a dot plot is how many zeros are there, right? So doing the same thing, that's a repeat. Okay, so 10 is, what is 10 asking for? Oh, you got to look at the thing. It says draw a dot plot. Okay, so number 10, which one? Okay, same thing. You're just counting numbers up. Okay, so a pretty data heavy assignment, but that's how you do all the problems. Hopefully that's enough to give you those. By the way, were not the correct answers for the assignment, just for this. I made an example set. Okay. All right. So that's how you do these kind of problems.